What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. I know not everybody's gonna be aware, but recently I had a bit of an ER trip, so going through these videos I may be a little bit slower, a little bit lower energy. Please bear with me. I may stop to drink water sometimes here and there. I'm on anti-nausea medication among others, so I'll be stumbling a bit too, but I want to keep doing videos, want to keep up with the market, and I'm thankful to the show of support that so many people have been just coming out with and saying, you can get better, you can do this. I've been through it. I've been passing a kidney stone, still actively doing so. There was insane pain in my back and down there for sure, and apparently I'm not through the worst of it, so come on this journey with me. Anyways, that being said, let's get into today's market watch. Oh, and for those wanting to support, just keep doing what you're doing. Watch the video, use the TCG player link in the description, code What'sGood5, and if you really want to directly support, there is the Patreon. You can physically make me work a little bit extra on the mail tier. Maybe we'll eventually hit all 50 states. It's something I stopped pushing. Dark Tellarknight Batalmus is bought out, and I am scratching my head on this one to the point of $40. So people have this in hand sanely and are going, I don't think I'm gonna really try to sell this. Specifically, it takes 2 level 4 Tellarknight monsters. Very, very specific. It's not like you can generic rank 4 go into Travere. You can't really use this in other decks, and so Tellarknights as a whole have been going up for a bit. Here we see Diamond up towards $10. I mean, this has always been kind of a cool thing to use with Deltros. And then we see the Nab is up there, the hollow ones, not so much, but definitely the Nab. Even scratching my head towards DUEA format. Like, you guys are really thinking about that? Like, this would be one of the least active decks in DUEA format, but it's still there, I suppose. It's just seeing everything skyrocket or run out of quantities even on the lower end. That's pretty alarming. Now, when I see this kind of a buyout, I look over at decks that are actually hitting top 4 in recent history. Yes, they have their problems with consistency, but Infernoids are at one of their all-time lows in recent history, with Void Vanishment being more affordable than it almost ever has been, and then Void Imagination. And you're telling me that you're putting Tellers on the same level as Infernoids. I get the Master Rule updated. I get that people are excited to try new things, but really, this makes absolutely no sense to me. This is the biggest brain buyout probably of recent history. I mean, this is a great card, don't get me wrong, but pushing it to this price point from $1.19, how many $5 and $6 copies did you have to buy to make this happen? Like, you had to get all the other listers out of the way. That seems like some money very poorly spent to me personally, but let me know what you guys think of this buyout. I'm not a fan of it, but I have noticed that this isn't not anything new. Like, this has been happening for some time. You can see it's above the market price, but this has been gradually creeping, whereas this is very sudden. I think if you're spending money like that, you should be going after an established deck that actually does something, but Battles of Legend is around the corner, and they've hit an Infernoid card before, so we'll see what Konami has on the mind as we head that direction. We have Eternity Code here, and it has been going down, down, down in price for the most part, even the top-heavy part. It's that Dark Neostorm effect I've been talking about. When everything is this good, even with the shorter ratios, when we're cracking open this many cases and they're finally coming to the USA, I'm seeing a lot of vendors, by the way, have problems getting to their cases. Like, they had to go to the post multiple times. There's been problems getting into the post office in certain areas. I know YBM has, Blazing Cards, very big names in the community. So it's interesting to see that even with the chokehold on some people getting to their cases and some of those getting out there, like, we still see the prices just dipping pretty much astronomically. We already have Archosaur almost to that flat 30 I was projecting. We see that Link Ross is at $22. Chamber Falling. Please don't do anything insane, market. I can't handle it in this state. Give me a little bit to recover before you do something stupid. And then when we look at the rest of this, $10 Deep Sea Aria, Gravediggers, this was so hyped, towards 15 now. We see Crocodragon at $5 somehow, Madolche Salon at $5. I heard somebody say they were going to buy as many as they could at $5, that they think the Madolche players will be after this eventually, and that's a somewhat smart move because you're not going to see a reprint of this for over a year probably till next year's Megatons, or maybe the March reprint set. Who knows what Konami has in store. But everything is becoming so affordable on the lower end and even some of the secret rare ends, to where ultra rares, remember the new ratio, you're barely above a playset a box. I think there's a lot of room for those to go up eventually, but only a few things will go up somewhat immediately in the next couple weeks. So for people asking, should I get this now? I need my card. Should I get this now? Well, ask yourself, is it one of the cards you think will be sought after immediately? Do you think it's in the line of fire to pop up in the metagame? And again, events are actually delayed until, I believe, June 30th for now for even the OTS level. So we've had things pushed back, and I think Konami's in the right to do so. We're seeing cases of the Crush card really spike up, and I think it's a smart move by them. But the rest of the set, very, very easy to get. Pretty much whatever you want. There's a ton of penny stonks to be chasing after, and a lot of predictions that you can make yourself. A lot of people are wondering if Plunder Patrols will actually be in Rise of the Duelists and keep asking if they should get it now or later. I think that there will inevitably be the at least OCG support of Plunders, even if we don't get them, and we've seen them go pretty heavy for some of the archetypes, so I would still say to get your Plunder sooner than later, especially with how cheap they're becoming. Besides that, we see the Starlight Rare market is crazier than ever on a launch. And I've seen a lot of people pulling a lot of Starlights. Chef Jones got a case with 3 Starlight Rares. That was absurd. And I've seen a lot of people with 2, and of course a lot of people with 0. The average still seems to be that you're getting 1 every other case, but some people are getting extremely lucky when they go in on cases, and of course, sometimes you're just not going to see one at all. Valor being able to get back the case on its own, though, I can't see that lasting until Echo's gone, but Echo is flying off the shelf. And similar with Moonlit Chill, a lot of people anticipating this, saying it's way better than people gave it credit for. I certainly think it's better than I originally gave it credit for. Like, I get it. If you have to do it on some, their quick effects can go, but being able to do it on either player's turn is pretty big, especially against stuff like Masquerena. And the Trap Trick seems to be somewhat the easiest to get, yet, well, it's actually going ahead of Chamber, so the Dragon Maid's the lowest. Music to my ears. The Golden Lord has gone back up in price while I've been down and out. 122 as Adamancipator Researcher goes towards 50. A lot of people are scared. This deck's gonna get hit hardest on the F and L list. People aren't seeing any direct hits heading towards the Golden Lord. Give me a second real quick. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to see this estimated value pull, like, because Secret Slayers has unlimited packs on the market hitting, that you're seeing, like, the actual downplay of Researcher as the Golden Lord continues to go up and get stronger. The Rikas are still insanely cheap as well for what it is for a side set. Usually something waifu-ish gets hyped, but people just didn't go after this like the Dragon Maids. And the rest of it, oh so affordable still, as the top-heavy part of this set keeps the penny stonks cheap and your ability to look for anything else in it. Now, think about this. In the future, when things like this do inevitably get hit or meta irrelevant compared to where they were at, well, look at the rest of the set and what will go up there. It's called value displacement was the word I was looking for just a second ago with what was happening to these two. As these inevitably somewhere in the future go down due to ban list or whatever, other parts of the set will rise. So do consider that future of the set as well, especially with how many people are looking at Solemn Judgments and, you know, Upstart Goblins versus these new quantities coming on the market. Speaking of sponsors, Yu-Gi-Oh! Black Market should have up later today the new Dragons of Legend for pre-sales, and their pre-sales have been very, very cheap. Also, we know that good old Glasgow Yu-Gi-Oh! Aka Farfa is going to be revealing reprints from Toon Chaos, and I expect Toon Chaos, if the reprints are good, to be flying off the shelf with code WhatsGood5 over here on Yu-Gi-Oh! Black Market. You're able to get these boxes, I believe, around $60 to $61 a piece, shipped to your front door if you're buying them at the case. But the individual boxes, they've sold out, so they are starting to go. You're going to have to be ordering more. And I know at the distro level, these are gone. So once things are going, your good deals on these unique packs are going to be gone if it's slapping. I'm still calling this to be like the Duelist pack, the Legendary Duelist, Ancient Millennium, where that sealed is very expensive. This is the first one with a new rarity and a lot of cards, so pay attention to those singles tonight if you've been waiting against the gamble, and go in if you really think they're going to be good, especially with the new rarity here, Collector's Rare. Finally, Dual Overload has a lot of value going down, down, down versus things. Like, everything was headed towards the price of the pack up here, $30, and we see it really chilling. You know this is going to spike towards the Megatons, right? Like, a ban list isn't going to preemptively stop the card that is selling the Megatons that they've specifically taken promos away from to shove it in the pack to make you chase after it harder. They're not going to take away the enabler for that ahead of time. I don't like Yu-Gi-Oh! When a lot of decks converge to the same routes of plays, like currently with Halifibrax making the, you know, Herald, the Savage Dragon, come on, I got 2 negates. Like, I don't like the thought of Dragoon either, but they're not going to preemptively crush their own product. Imperm also can line up into other products to be reprinted now. They've used it on 2 March sets. Now it could end up in side sets and, you know, structure decks. And as for the rest of things here, a lot of people are talking about Celine right now, and she's actually down in price. It's kind of a weird effect. People are saying you can use her in this combo, she won in this combo, and while she's doing things, she's actually just chilling out in price. So this is something I would consider picking up sooner than later, and actually versus the price on the front screen, $350, she is going up, and rather quickly. So it's something to consider, and something that people are chasing after right now. That being said, thanks so much for putting up with me. I'm constantly almost drooling a little bit while I'm talking, so excuse me while I'm slower. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think of what's going around, and definitely give me advice on what's happening in the market. It's a little harder for me to keep up right now, and suggestions are super welcome for me to look at, be it penny stonks, be it something that's happening. Try to pay attention to what's in the past market watch. Somebody brought up Volcanics, and I've shown that recently, of course, Royal Fire Stormguard, but definitely try to pay attention to what I've done and tell me things you'd like to see covered here on Market Watch the next couple days while I'm out of the loop, as it were.